There's something about a long drive through the mountains with classic rock playing that stirs up memories. Bands you forgot you knew. Not the obvious ones. Zeppelin, Floyd, The Who. No, this is about the others. The ones who had the sound, the chaos, the soul, but not the spotlight. Some were too experimental, some too ahead of their time. Some just got lost in label messes or constant lineup changes, but all of them made music that's begging to be rediscovered. So buckle up and get ready to meet 9 1970s bands that didn't make the radio playlists, but absolutely should have. And hey, if you love lost legends and deep cuts, hit that subscribe button. We've got more where this came from. 1. Captain Beyond, the cosmic supergroup that vanished. Captain Beyond was a supergroup with serious pedigree, members from Deep Purple, Iron Butterfly, and Johnny Winter's band. Their 1972 debut album didn't just play songs, it flowed like a single continuous psychedelic experience.
I cut you wide open 'cause I'm raising Cain.
Dancing madly backwards on a sea of air showed off their eerie yet explosive blend of prog, psych, and hard rock. But their sound was too unconventional for the mainstream. Add lineup changes and limited label support, and they quickly faded into cult status. Today, they're a hidden gem, still turning heads with music that sounds like it came from a different planet. 2. Poco, country rock. Before it was cool. Long before the Eagles were household names, Poco was already fusing twangy guitars with rich harmonies. Formed by Richie Furay and Jim Messina of Buffalo Springfield, they were pioneers of the California country rock sound. Their 1969 debut, Pickin' Up the Pieces, and tracks like A Good Feelin' to Know were warm, heartfelt, and technically masterful. They could rival Crosby, Stills, and Nash vocally, and outplay most bands musically, but they never got a single. Maybe they were too early. Maybe the Eagles were simply better packaged. Whatever the reason, Poco deserved more. 3. UFO, hard rock giants. Without the glory, UFO had everything. Killer riffs, powerful vocals, and one of rock's greatest guitarists in Michael Schenker. Songs like Dr. Doctor and Rock Bottom became staples for bands like Iron Maiden. Their 1979 live album Strangers in the Night remains legendary, but lineup changes and a lack of US radio hits held them back from breaking into the mainstream. They never got the fame they deserved, but their influence runs deep, especially among metalheads and hard rock purists. 4. Stoneground, bluesy, groovy, and criminally ignored Stoneground, mixed blues, rock, R&B, and psychedelia with a stage presence few could match. With multiple vocalists and a gospel-like energy, they built a reputation for unforgettable live shows. Their 1971 self-titled debut featured tracks like Rainy Day in June, soulful, laid back, and totally unique. But they didn't fit cleanly into any genre box, which made labels nervous. They never caught on commercially, but if you ever dig through vintage vinyl and see their name, don't sleep on it. 5. The Pink Fairies, proto-punk chaos from London. The Pink Fairies were loud, messy, and gloriously anti-commercial. Coming out of London's underground in the early 70s, they delivered fuzz-drenched chaos with songs like Do It, more a dare than a track. They played impromptu outdoor shows, rejected industry norms, and refused to polish their sound for radio. Naturally, the industry didn't know what to do with them. But their raw energy paved the way for punk long before punk had a name. Still cult heroes, still totally uncompromising. 6. Spooky Tooth, dark, brooding, but brilliant. Spooky Tooth's music had weight. It was slow-burning, stormy, and emotional, somewhere between blues rock and early prog. Spooky 2, 1969, remains their masterpiece, with songs like Better by You, Better Than Me, later covered by Judas Priest. They constantly shifted styles and lineups, which made it hard to build a consistent following. But their sound, rich with atmosphere and grit, still resonates with those who find them. They weren't built for hits, but they made music that sticks with you. 7. Trapeze, funky, hard-hitting, and underrated. Fronted by Glenn Hughes before Deep Purple, Trapeze fused funk, soul, and hard rock into something genuinely exciting. Their 1972 album, You Are the Music, where just the band blended groove and power effortlessly. Songs like Coast to Coast are smooth, emotional, and totally ahead of their time. But their refusal to stay in one lane and a revolving door of members kept them from hitting it big. Still, they were admired by musicians and remain a favorite for those who like their rock with soul. 8. The Pretty Things, psychedelic rebels turned rock. Operatic. Starting as gritty R&B rockers in the 60s, the Pretty Things evolved into fearless sonic explorers. In 1968, they released SF Sorrow, arguably the first rock opera, a full year before Tommy. It's psychedelic, conceptual, and often unsettling, packed with songs like Barren Saturday that veer into the surreal. They didn't care about radio play or pleasing anyone. That cost them exposure, but earned them legendary status among rock historians. They were the missing link between psych, glam, and punk. Unpolished, brilliant, and criminally overlooked. 9. Hawkwind, space rock legends lost in the void. Hawkwind didn't perform. They transported. With sci-fi themes, synth-laden riffs, and wild light shows, they made every concert feel like a trip through hyperspace. Silver Machine, 1972, was their only chart hit, featuring Lemmy on bass before his Motorhead days. But the real magic is in albums like Warrior on the Edge of Time, long, sprawling journeys through sound that defy easy labels. Too weird for the charts, too intense for casual fans, they became cult legends. For space rock fans, they remain unmatched. Not every great band gets remembered, and not every forgotten band deserved to be. But these 9, they broke ground, bent genres, and helped shape rock history behind the scenes. Maybe they didn't sell out stadiums or flood the airwaves, but their influence echoes through decades of music, from metal and punk to country rock and psychedelia. So tell us, did we miss your favorite forgotten 70s gem? Drop it in the comments. And if you like this trip through rock's dusty corners, hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more lost legends coming.